Hey guys, let's start Unit 1 with a review. So this is Mrs. Tran-Bloom, your teacher for Algebra 2 for the year. Our 1.1 is order of operations, and I'm pretty sure you guys have heard of PEMDAS before. So our P is going to represent parentheses. We do that first. Next is going to be the exponent. Now be very careful with multiplication and division. You do those two from left to right. Okay, multiplication does not have to do first unless it's in front of division. Now, if division is in front of multiplication, then you do division first, but you do those from left to right. Once you're done with parentheses, exponent, multiplication, then you are going to execute addition and subtraction from left to right as well. So again, do not always do addition first, or do not always do subtraction first. Whatever comes first is what you do. So we're going to begin with example 1. So the instruction for example 1 to 6 is evaluate without a calculator. So the first thing we're going to execute would be the parentheses. So we're going to drop down 47 minus, inside of the parentheses, 3 times 2 will be 6. We drop the square power down. Next is going to be the exponent. There's a minus sign in the middle, so I'm going to drop that down. That's going to be 36 because it's 6 squared. And drop the 47 down. 47 take away 36 will give us 11. Example number 2, absolute value of negative 18 plus 45 divided by 9. All of it is, again, inside of the absolute value. Next, we want to do, or first thing really, is the division. 45 divided by 9 is going to give us 5. Drop everything else down. And as you can see, we have a negative 18 plus 5. That's going to give us negative 13. Absolute value of all negative numbers will give us a positive number. So hence, we have a positive 13 as our final answer. Example number 3, and then again, we are going to start with parentheses. So drop everything else down. 6 minus 1 is going to give us 5 and square. Then exponent, 5 squared will give us 25, and I'm going to drop everything else down. As you can see, we now have subtraction, multiplication, and addition. So do multiplication first. So 9 take away 3 times 25, that's going to give us 75. And drop our 1 down. As you can see, we only have subtraction and addition first. We will execute this from left to right. So 9 take away 75 is going to be a negative 66. Drop your 1 down. And lastly, negative 66 plus 1 is negative 65. Box that up. Example 4 has a square root in it. So again, we're going to do parentheses first. So it's going to be 4 times 9 under the square root. Then we want to, normally I would say go ahead and multiply, but you have to simplify the square root anyway. I'll do both methods, okay? What if we multiply first? So that's going to give us 36 under the radical. Well, square root of 36 is really 6. Take away 19. Final answer is going to be negative 13. Now, if you choose not to multiply here, then you can just simplify the 4 times 9 separately, because like that, right? And then the 19's outside. So square root of 4 will be 2, square root of 9 is 3. As you can see, you are still going to get the same answer. Example 5. 5 times the quantity of 16 minus 5, close the quantity, take away 1, all over quantity of negative 4 squared, take away 7. And let's do the quantity first. 16 minus 5 is 11. On the denominator, there are no quantity, but we do have the power. So negative number, when you square it, it's the same thing as saying negative 4 times negative 4. That will give us a positive 16. So we are going to drop down the minus 7. On the numerator, you have multiplication and subtraction, so we will attack multiplication first. On the denominator, we can just take it away from, take 7 away from 16, so that's going to give us a positive 9. On the numerator, 55 take away 1 is going to give us 54. take away 9, and that will give us a nice answer of 6. Example number 6, -8 minus square root of 5 to the 3rd power plus 4 times 11 all over 3 times 5 plus 1. So let's do the exponent first. 3 to the 3rd, I'm sorry, not 3 to the 3rd, 5 to the 3rd, that's 5 times 5 times 5. So that's going to give us 125. I can also multiply at the same time. 4 times 11 is going to give us 44. And this is going to be 15 plus 1. In the radical, as you can see, I'm going to add those. That will give us 169 all over 16. Well, square root of 169 is going to be exactly 13. So that will give us a nice number. On the numerator, we have -8, take away -13. That will give us -21 over 16. Well, we want to try to simplify as much as possible. So -21, I know my answer, it's going to be negative because there's only one negative on the numerator. But 21 is going to be 3 times 7, and 16, you can do 4 times 4 or 2 times 8, or but neither one of those is going to help us simplify. So this is in the simplest fraction form that we can have. So this bottom paragraph says here, check your answers using a calculator. If you have a graphing calculator or a scientific calculator that will let you type the entire expression in. If everything is entered correctly, the calculator will follow order of operations. If you don't, it is up to you to follow the correct order of operations when typing into your calculator. Now, and it says here, do one step at a time. I'm just going to pick number 6 because that looks like one of the questions that most of us will get it wrong on a calculator because we don't know how to use our own calculator. So what I would like for you to do is hit pause and go grab your calculator really quickly. I will pull up my own calculator here. As you can see, I have a not very fancy calculator. I don't have a lot of buttons here, but all I'm looking for is if I can enter in the fractions and see if I can get plus 4 times 11 all over 3 times 5 plus 1. If I don't know how to use my calculator, watch me. And this is me doing it incorrectly, since let's just say that I don't know how to use my calculator. I'm going to go to 8 negative, and notice how I've typed in the negative after. And I'm going to go, okay, well, minus, and it says square root. Okay, I see a square root here on the left side. Hit square root. Whoa. See how the square root went ahead and just did a -8 under the radical? And it says invalid input because you can't have a negative under the radical. So this is why it's super important for us to know how to use our calculator. So here's what I'm going to do. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do all of the numbers under the radical first, such as 5 to the 3rd plus 4 times 11, okay? So 5. See y to the x to the y, that's allowing me to do 5 to the 3rd. I'm going to hit enter. That's 125. Then I'm going to hit plus 4 times 11, 4 times 11. And notice how I'm using quantity. So that's going to hit enter. So now under the radical, I have 169. Notice how I'm taking one step at a time. This will allow me to get the right answer. Well, because I don't have a fancy calculator, so I really do need to know my PEMDAS really, really well. Now I will take the square root, okay? So I'm going to take the square root, and I can hit the square button, and it gave me 13. Perfect. So now I can go, okay, if under the radical is 13, I can go in and punch in everything else. Parentheses, -8, minus, I knew under the radical is 13, I'm going to close that up. Then I'm going to divide, then I'll enter in the parentheses for my denominator. Okay, so I'm going to do 3 times 5, and then plus 1. Close up my parentheses, and then hit enter. It gave me a decimal of negative 1.3125. Well, if I type in negative 21 divided by 16, I should get the same identical decimal. So you know we got the right answer. Don't forget to go and practice your own calculator. So just another touch up on calculator. If you are doing fractions, that's just really 1 divided by 3, so you can hit the division button for that. Okay. Exponent, earlier I was using the 5 to the third and I was using x to the y, so that's, you're going to see the caret button on mine. Again, the TI, the scientific calculator and the graphing calculator are better because you can type in a lot of it all at once. Now, if you have a negative number, make sure you put quantity around the negative. Okay, so if you don't, it will be very different. So let's go back really quickly. What if I just punch in 5 negative and I hit square? Oh, sorry, I meant square. So 5 negative and square. All right, look at this one. This one goes ahead and gave you positive 25 right away. But some calculator, what it's doing is really doing this. It goes, okay, 5 and then square and then times negative 1. So make sure you understand your calculator real well. On my calculator, it doesn't really matter. Notice how I don't have to put in parentheses. It does it automatically for me. But some calculator is not like that. So you make sure you understand your own calculator. Okay. Example 7 to 10. Now I'm just going to quickly tell you a little joke, okay? My kids love telling jokes when they come home from school. So the toddler joke of today is, what animal is always at a baseball game? So as you guys ponder on that, I'm going to continue with example 7 to 10. Evaluate each expression using the given values. Evaluate means you are now going to substitute in the value for each variable. Number 7 says, x times y to the power of z all over x plus z. Well, x is the value of 3. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. Value of 3. And then times y is 2. Then 2 to the power of z is 6. All over z again is 6. And I'm going to add y, and y is 2. Just like PEMDAS, we are going to do power first. So 3 times 2 to the 6. That means 2 times 2, 6 times, right? So if you don't know what it is, that's going to be 64 all over 8. From here, I normally don't want to multiply it out because I can reduce, because 8 goes perfectly into 64. Because 8 times 8 is 64. So why multiply and then reduce? I might as well reduce now. So now I just have 3 times 8, which will give us 24. And box that up. All right, so let's attack this example 8. You got p squared. So your p is 8. We're going to go until an 8 square minus your q is 2. So that's 2 squared all over 24 divided by r. R is 3. And it wants you to do these first. Then we want to go add 4. R again is 3, so we're going to do 3 squared. All right, so 8 squared is 64, minus 2 squared is 4, divided by 24 divided by 3 is 8, plus 4 times 3 squared, that's going to be 9. 64 minus 4 is going to be 60 over 8, plus 4 times 9, that's going to be 36. Now, I want to reduce these fractions as much as possible. Now, as you can see, they're both even. So the first thing you can do is divide by 2. All even numbers will be divisible by 2. If you know a bigger number that goes in there, then go straight there. But if you don't, then just start with 2. That's totally okay. So 60 divided by 2 is 30. 8 divided by 2 is 4. And as you can see, they're even still. So we're going to do divide by 2 again. Now, if you knew right away that 4 would go in there, and yes, it does, then go straight to divide by 4 from the beginning. So that would be 15 over 2 plus 36. Now, 15 over 2 is 7.5. So you can go straight to 7.5 plus 36. Well, you want to add the whole numbers together. So 36 plus 7, that's going to give us 43.5. Okay, so 43.5 is our final answer. You can do 43.5. 0.5. All right, you guys want to hear a quick toddler joke? What animal is always at a baseball game? A bat. Ha ha, right? Okay. Example 9 and 10. A equals -2, B equals 3, and C is 2. So let's plug it in. So we go 3 plus square root 3 squared minus 4 times -2. Expand my radical a little bit. Times 2 all over 2 times A is -2. So 3 plus under the radical, that's 9, minus. Now, all of these right here are multiplications, so I'm just going to do them all at once. So minus 4 times -2 is -8. -8 times 2 is now -16, all over -4. So 3 plus 9, 2 negatives will make it a positive, so that's going to give us 25 all over -4. So 3 plus 5 all over -4, that's going to be 8 over -4. Final answer, -2, -2. Number 10. M is 26, N is 11. All right, 26, take away, bracket, 25 minus 11, close parentheses, minus 2 to the 3rd power, close bracket. So what you want to do is do the most inner parentheses first. So it looks like we have 2 sets of parentheses. 25, take away 11, 14. Then I want to do exponents as well. 2 to the 3rd is 8. Next, we want to do the outer parentheses. 14 take away 8 is really 6. Well, 20 away take away 6 is 20. Box it up, baby. All right, let's see. And looks like that's the end of our recording today.